Hello, everybody. Today we're with Helene Stelian, and she's going to share with us that it's never too late to accomplish your dreams. And she's going to share with us the opportunities and the challenges. In 5 minutes, she's going to give us some real richness that arises in during midlife. So hello, Helene, and thank you so much for being with us this evening.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. Would you like me to say a little something about myself first?
Sure, tell us.
Okay. So I'm a certified life coach, and I work mostly with women, although I've helped men as well. And I work with women who feel stuck, they feel scared, and maybe overwhelmed, and they're struggling to move forward, and I help them get unstuck. But I do have a special interest in women in midlife. It's a really interesting time of life, but a lot of women find themselves wondering what's next for them and who they are now that once they reach the 40s and 50s. And I show them how to put themselves first and figure out what's next and feel excited about their future. I particularly love, as I had mentioned to you before, working with groups and groups of women in particular. I've introduced a women's wisdom circles, which is a wonderful way for us to harness the energy of a group and not only the energy between a client and a coach, because there's so much empathy and validation and support you receive when you're working with a group of women. So I love the power of the group. And I do a lot of speaking on a lot of subjects. I won't get into all of that, but I absolutely love what I do. And so I wanted to tell your listeners a little bit more about midlife, because it's a really interesting time of life. And I look at it as sort of 40 to 60 age range. And it's challenging because there's really an overload of demands in midlife. So like what? Like kids leaving home, with the empty nest. Aging parents, death of a loved one, either a parent, maybe even a spouse. Marital strain is common in midlife. Maybe after the kids leave home, you find you're a little disconnected with your spouse. And there's a phenomenon known as the gray divorce, which is happening more and more, people divorcing later in life. Oftentimes there's work issues. If you've been working, maybe you've reached sort of the peak of your career and you're not so satisfied with your promotion opportunities. Maybe you're just bored with having done the same thing for many years. Financial issues around payments for college tuition, concerns about retirement security, loss of community when you're moving away, maybe downsizing, maybe your friends are, maybe that community that you had around your kids is kind of falling apart. Physical, cognitive changes due to aging and menopause, and health issues and health scares. So there's a lot of big stuff hitting us, big challenges in midlife. And at the same time, it's a whole set of some big questions are being asked, are coming to the fore. Sort of what I call existential questions. Who am I today? Where do I belong? What do I want to do with the rest of my life? What will be my legacy? Some kind of huge questions that we ask as we see sort of the time shrinking that we have ahead of us. And with all of these challenges, there's a general sense of angst, and it's really no wonder that midlife has been shown in survey after survey to be low in happiness. It's actually a U-curve of happiness that's been talked a lot about, with midlife hitting right at that trough, and it's been shown in 72 countries. So the good news is you're not alone, and it does go back up. In the US, the peak of happiness seems to be at 20 and at 70, for example. So it is going to come back up, so keep that in mind. But there are also a lot of wonderful opportunities at midlife because, it's hard, but we've got a lot of strength and wisdom we can call upon to get through some of these challenges. We're much more aware of these strengths, and we've got social connections and resources too that we can call upon, and we're usually more financially stable. So there's a lot of opportunity for us to call on that. We've learned how to solve some pretty big problems probably by this time. We've learned how to handle crises. We're less reactive. We're probably more compassionate and empathic, and we're more confident and adaptable. So there's a lot we can call upon to get through some of the challenges and look at some of the opportunities of asking these big questions. We can choose to just kind of get through the midlife hardships, but the real opportunity here is for us to do the deep work of self-reflection. And it's really that kind of growth that's going to allow us to move forward into a very fulfilling second half of life. We need to, though, let go of some of the old stories, let go of regrets, old hurts and struggles that are keeping us stuck in pain and fear. And we really need to get clear on who we are now so that we can really get the most out of that second adulthood, as we call it. And so for many of us, priorities are also going to shift in midlife from sort of a focus on external success to a focus on finding meaning, which is really a beautiful thing that happens later in life. And we're also going to care less what people think of us. We really want to find inner peace and life purpose and that legacy I was talking about. So I guess my challenge to your listeners is going to be, since I only have 5 minutes, I'm going to wrap it up. How will you make the most of midlife? How will you create the future you want and you deserve?
Well, I love that. What really resonated with me, you began with this and you came to the end with it, is when you spoke about your wisdom circle, that I think we forget about the power and the magic in being together. It's not you're the expert and they've come to learn from you. We're all expert and we all have what to give to each other. And then you re-spoke about that as you don't have to go through this alone.
I absolutely
can reach out either to a group, reach out to a mentor, reach out to a coach. You just don't have to feel alone with this, because people have asked these questions before. We'll be asking them afterwards. And they're beautiful, deep questions that really will give your life a sense of meaning and then preparation for that next stage. I love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.